It's March and spring is just here. And I can't believe I survived another winter in Bosnia. So this winter challenged me more than usual because I think it's the first winter that we're fully here. And it's not the cold, but it's more the lack of sun, the shorter days, and everything that comes with that here in the Balkans. If you spend your winters here as well, if you haven't yet, you just moved, but you haven't experienced a winter yet, if you're thinking about moving here, or if you're just also struggling every time the season starts, this video is for you because I do feel, although it was tough, I do feel I kind of survived it. I succeeded, and spring is here, and I'm ready to enjoy it and to share the things that made my winter better. Although I know there's still one spring snowfall coming anytime soon. Banemavis, let's go. So I'm sharing my personal experience, the things I did, because instead of fighting it like I was doing it, I learned that I'm gonna have to live with this. This is my reality. We're not going anywhere anytime soon, and we're going to have winter every year. So I did some digging. I took time to understand this, to accept it, and see what I can do to, use the things that are in my power to make it better. What made this winter so hard? We stayed here for the whole thing. We went to Montenegro at the end of February, where we got a full week of sun. And also on Christmas Day, 25th of December, we went to Croatia for 3 days. But the rest, we were here. And the hardest part is not the cold at all because you can dress up, you can put clothes on, like that is doable. My main struggle is the lack of sunlight because sometimes we were going for like 10-15 days without seeing the sun, and over time that does start to affect you mentally. And also winter falls on dates that are very special to me, like Christmas, and being here with these conditions was not ideal. Bear in mind, in Argentina, when we have Christmas, it's always been in summer nights, light dresses. We're all tan, waiting until midnight. And even when I left to Dubai, I was surrounded by my Argentinian circle and we were celebrating the same way, also always warm. So let's just say I never really had a winter Christmas until I came here. And then adding to that is the environmental factors that really became harsh this year. I think this year, this winter, the air pollution was the highest it's ever been. And when you have a kid, although that already sucks, you are really concerned about their health. And it was a bit scary, knowing that there's pollution outside, and if you go out it can be harmful, and we are here, and it sometimes became a bit scary that we can't do anything immediate about it. So that created a bit of anxiety because it did feel like pandemic times when you are not really free to do whatever you want to do because of conditions that are out of your control. So in Bosnia it's kind of normal, especially in Sarajevo, because of the way the city is located. But here in Banja Luka, I don't think that was a thing until this year. And of course, there's a lot of political aspects to it. But what can we do about it now? Like, how can we change this? That was kind of, yeah, crisis situation in this family. And we are so lucky to have a selo, a village, which is way up the mountains. It's an hour and a half away from Banja Luka. We wish it was closer. And we did have a few getaways for a complete reset, for the most pure air. And thank God for that, because I feel like my mental health was just at peace every time we were going. But, we live here in Banja Luka, so we had to take some measures to make that air pollution thing a bit better in this house. And speaking of being here in Banja Luka, the thing with winter is that this is when you really see the smoking indoors being allowed and being a huge issue, because you're very limited with the options to go out and socialize, because either if I'm with Vera, like I don't want her to be in a smoking place, and also even if you just go out, you come back and you stink of cigarettes. I have my list of non-smoking places that I was just going to all the time, and let's cross fingers that that law actually happens and comes through, that they prohibit smoking here. It's gonna happen, it's not gonna happen, comes back and forth. Let's hope for the best. So yeah, that is really why it's hard for me to accept winter. It's not really the winter itself, it's all the things combined that affect me. Yeah, if you're not really used to that, if it's not somewhere in your past experiences, your subconscious, it can take a huge toll on your mental health. What can we do about it? So, understanding what happens to our body during this period has been a huge shift for me and my coping with this season. Understanding that it's not in my head and really understanding what the body is supposed to be doing during winter actually changes your mindset, right? So, understanding how your body functions, understanding that we are meant to slow down during the season. It's like a hibernation period. We need more rest, we have less energy, we need less stimulation. And that can be tricky because January is one of the busiest months for this family socially with all the festivities. And, slowing down and taking things easy for someone like me who's so active, always trying to do something, going places, seeing people, it was a lesson to be learned to slow down. So once I understood that shorter days affect your brain, the lack of sunlight impacts your mood and your energy so much. And the reduced time you spend outdoors changes your rhythm completely. This helped me remove so much pressure off myself and of Jovan and blaming him for everything because we live here. So instead of forcing myself to still operate at 100% in winter, I learned to adapt to this. And that's what made a huge difference. So here are a number of things that actually helped me this winter. Number one, since we cannot immediately change this air pollution situation, it's going to take time to change. It's going to take years, and I hope they actually come through with it to, change it or improve it. What we did is that we prepare our house to have as much clean air as possible. So we got air purifiers, air humidifiers, we got plants. We were very specific with the opening of windows, so because that's when the heating actually starts to work 100%, full mode heating. We are on the last floor of our building, and all of the warmth, all of the heating of our neighbors comes up. I think that's why our heating bill is not that high, because we're not using all of the heaters in the house. But that's when the house becomes really dry. So we got these air humidifiers, which is just a device you put water on and it produces steam, and that keeps like the moist in the house. Very tricky, only using it in winter because that could cause humidity if you're not careful with it. So we only use it in winter. And then we got the air purifiers, which is our machines that have filters that purify the air. And they even have sensors to like tell you when the air is polluted or not. Then we got really nice. I mean, we had those from before, but we got a few more. Some plants are also used as natural air purifiers, like potus or potos. I don't know how you call it in English. There's also another one called mother-in-law's tongue. So we do love plants in this house, and we got a few more. So, the more, the better. And we also got these are like little pots that you put water in, and you can hang them from the heater. So with the heat of the heater, they're supposed to create some sort of moist as well. You get these from any gardening shop. Another thing we did as a family, we went to get blood tests. We got checkups to see our deficiencies, to see what we needed supplements for, and that's what we did. Of course, more vitamin D, and we took whatever vitamins were advised. So I think that's something we're going to do before we start every winter, because I do see a huge difference, with a doctor, visiting a doctor and getting advice on what your body needs. Because even with social media, you can see people say, take this, take that, but like each body is different. So I think you do need to get some personalized advice, and complemented to that with food, lots of fermented things, probiotics, anything with vitamin C, lots of paprika and cabbage. And I don't know, I think just learning more about these whole foods and what your body needs in this time, in this period. We try to stay active. Johan is always active. I mean, he's a PE teacher, like that's his degree. But for me, I get bored. So I found this thing called Fitpass, which is an app that I was happy to see we have here in Bosnia, because it's similar to the things I used to use in Dubai. And I love when all these modern things happen here as well. So it's an app that costs the same as a gym membership. I think I pay 60 or 70 marks per month, and you get to have 16 visits to different gyms around the city. And you also have access to the indoor Olympic pool, yoga studios, Also, it covers, I think you have access to a few hotels that have a spa and indoor pool. So that's cool because I get really bored easily. And this time I didn't have to commit to going to the same gym, at the same time. Maybe if life caught me across the city, I would have my gym gear and just go and try a new gym. So that was great because I'm gonna be honest, when the weather gets way better, I'm not gonna go to the gym. I'm gonna do my workouts here in the balcony or go for long walks. But with this air pollution thing, not happening. And this really kept me interested, engaged. Another thing that helped me was actually making an effort to check what was happening event wise in the city. I'm very happy with, there could always be more, but Banja Luka is not like the biggest city in the world, but I do find it interesting when they have different cultural events. Lots of them are for free. And whether it's like a choir thing or we've been going to the children's theater with Vera so much. She loves it. I love it. The museum. I don't know, like understanding, because that's something I feel like things are not really advertised properly or a lot or in advance. So you really have to make the effort to translate it to really find out when things are happening. So I think I did that this winter, and smoking is not allowed. So it was cool to, go see events, be an spectator, and sometimes for free. Also, what I like about the movies is that they don't translate them, like they don't do the voiceover in the local language, which means movies are usually in English and they write the subtitle in the local language. And if ever I am tired of listening to this beautiful language, I just go watch a movie that I can understand fully. And I love that. Oh, wait, another thing that I did was, I think, combined to like taking care of my body and combined to like consuming more natural things, I had a breakout the moment the heating system started. I got a breakout on my face, all around my nose, my mouth. Sometimes it got so bad that it was going up to my eyelids. Yeah, and never in my life I had this ever. I'm not a person who uses a lot of skincare routine stuff nonsense. I keep things very simple, and this was not really like food related. It was just environment related with this heating. It's just pure dryness. I even, for the first half of the winter, my left nostril was completely blocked the whole time. Even painful because it was so dry, right? I couldn't sleep at night because I was breathing through my mouth. It was terrible, guys. I mean, it was like, oh my God. So I started to research, and what could it be? I didn't want to go to a dermatologist because nothing against dermatologists, right? But sometimes I feel like they also want to use products on you and get you on like a skincare routine. And I'm like, let me just go back to nature, please. And there's nothing nature can cure. Like, I don't need drugs or chemicals. So, talking and telling friends and really expressing that I was really frustrated about this and like sad. I even saw how the content I was sharing on social media, it does not reflect who I truly am, but you can really tell I was not at my best. I didn't want to show up in camera because of my face. So I went to this shop, which now I had to really Google what it was. It's all it's medicine, I want to say medicine herbs. And I went there. I told the guy immediately, like, listen, this is the situation. Please, like, do whatever. And he gave me this milk. It's a milk and it's made completely of herbs. And I put this on my face within 24 hours. The irritation started to come down. Within a week, my face was back to what it was. And I'm just gonna use this from now on. Like, I don't want anything else. This is the shop is called Tedual. Tedual. So Tedual, it's translating to servants of God, because the shop, it's like linked to the church. When you go in, there's like icons and stuff. Well, this thing is holy, so yeah. It has like camilitsa, aloe. It has yeah, it has carrots. I don't know what this. It's all natural, and I like everything goes back. Priroda zna tajnu zdravlja. Something like nature knows about health or something like. Yes, I'm in. Yes, I'm gonna use this forever. I went back and I bought this already twice. I think this is my second bottle. This little thing is 10 euros. Yeah. I went, I said, give me the biggest bottle you have. He said, I don't have, like, just bring your bottle. And I, yes, sir. And also, he gave me this for my nose. It's just like a little paste, menthol with mint. Like, he explained to me how to put it up in there and wiggle my nose. My life changed. My winters changed. Bless you, sir. I'm gonna leave the Google Maps for you. I will also leave the links for all these events and the places where I was looking for to check. Banski Dor, the Children's Theater, the Banja Luka website, not website, Instagram. Like there are specific places where you will learn what's happening when. And this is more on a self development or a self awareness journey I started because I knew that, I can adapt to life here culturally, socially, but really the winter, it's a thing. If you've been following us for some time, you know that winter is a thing for me. And I said, you know what, this is gonna be my winter journey to overcome it or survive it or like just learn how to live with it. So that led me to, combine with the end of the year and we did like our New Year's, I don't want to say resolution, but like our meeting with Jovan to understand where we want to go, where we are, where we want to go, what continues, what doesn't. And that takes a lot of individual uh, self work as well. So I realized I love people. I love communities. I love the human connection that we get so much here in the Balkans. But if you're a foreigner, you don't really understand how to get it. And in the rest of the world, I think it's going away. Everyone's hooked to the phone. And I hope if you're watching this, it's not at night, because what I'm going to tell you is the following. One thing I started doing is I joined a book club because I went back to reading. I read, I think, 5 or 6 books. We joined the public library as a family. There's also a children's area that Vera loves. Yoman gets books, I get books. We also bought some books. And I don't know, I read lots of self development, self awareness, self knowledge, lots of, understanding what's going on, which when you're a foreigner and you live in a foreign country, I think working on who you are and understanding your identity is so important. So I think that's kind of like a journey I went on this winter. And besides joining the library, which is smoke free, by the way, I also joined a book club with Stead Serbia. Stead Serbia is a publishing house. It was opened by Dr. Sarah Kuburic. She's a millennial therapist, in case you know her. So she's very big on authenticity. She's an existentialist and questioning and just helping you live your most authentic life, which is something that I want always. So she publishes books in Serbian related to this. And I joined the book club for It Begins With You by Gillian Turecki. And this book I like. It's not only like a love relationship book, it's a relationship in general, especially and mainly with yourself. So in this book club, it started in December and it ended in February, and we were getting emails from Dr. Sarah every 2 weeks with her observation, her reflections, questions to ask ourselves. And at the end of the book club, we actually joined a Zoom call with the New York bestseller author Gillian Teraki, and I got to ask her questions about her book and my life. And I realized I'm like, there has to be more spaces or more opportunities where we can socialize with people that are on the same page. So alongside with this book club, I hosted video calls with ladies who joined the book club to talk about the book. And it was just nice to speak, not type, not like read someone's or like consume someone's content, but like talk and get interaction. So I love that. And that also contributed to opening, finally starting the Snaika Club, which is a club that started for ladies like me who are in a relationship with Balkan men, navigating this cultural, this mixed cultural life, and learning how they are coping with everything and with winter and what's, like, I guess this winter, what I take out of that is that it gave me the time to slow down and actually pay attention to the things that I like connecting with you guys, and starting projects that were so delayed and way overdue. And also that led me to more, not only like mental, personal self development, but like self development in the sense of learning more skills, and like been doing courses on bilingual brain to to learn more about how Vera's upbringing can be optimized, or like how we can help her with this mixed life that she's gonna have, and to share that knowledge with you, and like understanding where we want to go with Balcatinos and what kind of resources we can give people that are in our situation or soon to be in our situation, whether that's marrying outside your culture or moving back to Banja Luka or moving to Banja Luka for the first time. It gave me so much clarity and so much time to work and develop these things that are way overdue. So I think that also, like having a project, we have so many at this point, we have to develop them, but just starting with something that you love and that is needed, and that really kept my will to wake up every morning. Because how many of you who live in winter, I don't know, how many of you just wake up in bed and like don't leave the bed for the whole day? I know that's a thing. Like for example, today we woke up and there was sun and you see it and you want to wake up. But when you are, 2 weeks waking up and you don't see the difference between day or night, like you lose that will to even get out of bed or change your pajamas. So like really having these projects, knowing what we're working for, knowing what we're working towards, has made a huge difference in this winter. And staying busy and curious and interest, and I think that's probably one of the highlights of this winter. The before and after Balcatinos in such a short period, like from, oh my God, don't tell me now that I have to thank winter for how great everything is going. To summarize all of this, I think it's also about shifting your mindset. At one point, I made the decision, this is not temporarily, we want to stay in Bosnia, we want to live here. This is a condition that you're going to be living with. This is my life. This is my city. This is my home. I can't just like wait for the next trip. Let's go. Let's not be here. What can I change around my life to make it the best I can make it? So if you've been struggling with winter, I want you to know that what you're feeling is so valid. I know. You're not weak, you're not overreacting, and you're definitely not alone. You can adapt. I think also putting an effort into understanding our bodies and how they function during different times of the year, of the season, understanding the impact in our brains and the impact of the sunlight time changing thing, like creating a plan, knowing that, okay, for the first month, this is going to happen. So I'm going to stick to this routine. And when then the daylight thing changes, I'm going to increase so and so, having this personal project, just like maybe understanding that can really make it better instead of just like, oh, I hate winter so much. Why the fuck do I live here? I hate my husband because he made me move here. No, everything in our life is in our power. So what can we do to make it better? Please tell me, how did you get through winter, whether you live in the Balkans or somewhere else? What helped you the most? The more advice we have, the better. Because sharing experiences is what makes us feel less alone. So I want to hear it. Say hi in Balcatinos, and we are here for any questions. Leave them. See what we talk about next time.